Yahweh, Hashem, Kakakadash, Shalom to the faithful person, and this year, to Shalom to the New England entire video. The Levites are eating your pets. And what is meant by the dragon in Revelation chapter 16. So anyway, let's start with this part of the video, or the title. This is a new poll spells very bad news for Kamala Harris as sugar high begins to end. Just watching some of the debates. They try to say that she did pretty good and so forth. But okay, this is my second video that I clicked on. And this is trending now. You have so-called Haitians, which is a tribe, represent the tribe of Levi in Springfield, Ohio. And they just kind of came out of nowhere. And they worse than the Venezuelans. They said, look, we'll take Venezuelans over these Haitians. You got ducks in the park, and they're just picking up ducks, taking the head off of it, either drinking the blood, eating it raw, or cooking it, and they're sacrificing it. And that proves that they're of the tribe of Levi, the priest, because it was a priest that sacrificed animals. But the thing is, they're sacrificing unclean animals. And you might ask yourself, this is a rumor. No, there's town meetings going on. I mean, you can. This subject is trending. Let me see something. Anyway, it was covered in a debate. So what I'll do is fair use. I'm gonna mute the video. And this is a news company out of Australia, Sky News. So let's just take a listen. A journalist, so much for joining us. Let's start with the highlights of the presidential debate, including Trump's claim that migrants, which are, they're saying that the elite Haitians, are eating cats and dogs in Springfield. They're eating this. So this is Trump getting wind to this, and he's saying they're eating cats and dogs. And look at the reaction of this woman. Oh, come on. I'm going to just say this. If she becomes the president of the United States, there will be civil war. If she becomes the president of the United States, in my opinion, spiritually, there will be civil war. And the war will be the Republicans against the Democrats. And Republicans believe in guns. Most of them own guns. Most Democrats, they're against guns. So who do you think is going to win that war? And if you're wondering when 2nd Ezra chapter 15, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 kicks in, it's here. If you tarry, wait for it. It's here. Ain't nobody thinking about if you're moving to another state. You're not thinking about moving. Cross that off the map. We're not going to Springfield, Ohio. So I mean, if you watch this video, he's talking about this subject. Springfield, they're eating the dogs and cats. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. And she's laughing. So either they didn't give it a memo, and it's trending now. Or she knows and doesn't care, and the Dems are behind it. They're going to blame it on the Democrats. This didn't happen when Trump was in office. This is the responsibility of the Dems. And Esau's getting pissed the fuck off. And they're going to do something. I see that there will be civil unrest sometime. Could be after, November 5th, November 6th. I believe November 5th is the first Tuesday. And we're not even 2 months away. We're less than 2 months away. Okay. Yep, November. Sometime it's November. November. It's the first Tuesday of November. So we got to see what's going to happen. Whether they're going to cancel the elections or whatever. Whether we're into experiencing martial law and civil war, civil unrest will lead to martial law, and it's happening because certain people in the government is allowing this to happen. So let me come on back. And you got average people doing what they do every day, like they don't notice it. Now these Edomites are noticing it. They're going to the town meetings of some jakes, and she's laughing. This debate took place last night, a couple of hours ago. It started at 9 o'clock. So this is 22 hours ago, 7:10 in the morning. So if you're an American and you have access to the news, everybody it's trending. He's saying it and she's laughing. And this is a plan to completely change America, bring people from outside to invade this place, and they're getting paid. This is the people of the U.S., America, the contiguous United States, or these United States. They're up in arms, and they're going to do something. If she becomes the prez, there will be civil unrest. That starting November 5th, that night. And she's laughing at it like it's a joke. People that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. Then he nailed Kamala Harris. The borders are challenging her on live TV to go to the White House, wake Joe Biden up and sign a bill. Well, we haven't seen, Joe hasn't said anything in the last couple of weeks. Sign a bill to close the border. Now they're saying that there's millions. Some say 15 million. I mean, this is changing the whole country. And like I said, all you got to do is read, 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 2nd Ezra chapter 16. And this proves that the Apocrypha, the prophetic scriptures in the Apocrypha, they're divinely inspired by the Most High, given to the prophets. So she's laughing like it's a joke, like he's just making it up, like he's a crazy person. I'm telling you, if she becomes the pres of the U.S., there will be civil unrest. And go from the Republicans against the Democrats to, so-called Europeans, Edomites against these dark nations, I'll say. And it's happening behind the scenes, because even the mayor said that of Springfield. He said, we don't know, there's somebody controlling this shit. And the mayor was saying, we're not even getting any money to take these, the mayor of Springfield. So, this is trending now. We'll see what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Somebody will have to come out with a video. It's actually showing them picking up a duck in the swamp, in the park somewhere, just picking up you go to certain areas where there's greenery, you see ducks walk by, certain suburbs and so forth. Even in cities, where the park is, like you go to Central Park, you may or may not see ducks, pigeons and so forth. So, anyway, I'm going from there to Revelation, because I received a call yesterday. I was doing a video by Apostle Ramlop. And he was saying that, speaking about leadership out of Dallas, Texas, and he said that he's saying that the dragon in Revelation 16 is talking about the city-state of London. And then when I got in contact with him, they said, no, Tahar did a video on that. He said it a couple of times. So he just called to confirm it. when they said that, yeah, no, then he should have been at ease, but he called to confirm it. And, I said, yeah, I did say that. So he said, okay. So that's straight. So let me just pull this up. Okay, so I'm going to pick it up from here. And I'm going to... So what I did was I typed in the word dragon. If you saw my video yesterday that I did when Apostle Rama, they called me concerning the situation, the word dragon comes up 19 times out of 18 verses in the Old and New Testament. Like right here, Isaiah 27:1, referring to the beast, Esau. Okay, so let me read this. Ezekiel 29 verse 3. Speak and say, thus saith Yahweh the Most High, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon, the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers, which he said, my river is mine own, and I have made it for myself. So that right here, Ezekiel is talking about the Pharaoh at that time. So now you come back to Isaiah 27, and this is talking about Esau. Job mentions the Leviathan, which is also, they call Leviathan the dragon. So now we into Revelation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So the word dragon is interchangeable with the, sometimes it's referring to the ancient pagan Rome, and other times it's talking about now. So the controversy was over Revelation 16 and 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Sometimes the beast is referred to as a dragon. So I said in a video 3 months ago that I explained it to Apostle Ramla, that yes, I did say it was a city-state in London, which is you can say that these are all city-states. You can break it down that way. It says, it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. When you read, there's no reference of this dragon being the spiritual demon Satan. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon. So that would be the city-state of London, which the dragon 2,000 years ago was a Roman Empire. The tail in Revelation 12 is referring to Herod and his men of war, his personal army, was trying to take down the child. We'll go into that, and we may open up Revelation chapter 12. So when you come across the word dragon in the book of Revelation, however many times, 10 times or whatever, let me count this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times. Sometimes it's talking about the first beast. Sometimes it's talking about this current beast. And the tail, and like I said in Revelation chapter 12, is referring to Herod and his men of war. Because it wasn't the Romans looking for kill the babies 2 years. The boy, it said babies, but it represented boy babies. Because they knew that the Messiah was going to come as a man. So they weren't killing little girls, even though it doesn't say that. You say, no, but it doesn't say that. But anyway, it was, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me do this. Men of war. Let's see if it comes up. Men of war meaning armies. They're trained to kill. When you join the military, you're trained to kill and destroy, break shit. Let me bring it all the way up over here. Okay, I'm Harold is men of war. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do it this way. Matthew 2, I believe. Herod slaughters babies, which are actually boy babies. And then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth and angry, and sent forth and slew all the children, or the children, in the Hebrew word there was bun, sons, that were in Bethlehem. Why? Because he knew the prophecy. He knew that the Messiah was going to come out of Bethlehem. So he didn't have to go to Judea, Jerusalem, Galilee. He didn't have to go. He just went to Bethlehem. Because he knew that the Messiah was coming out of Bethlehem, Judah, or the city of David, because he came out of the line. Another proof that he was the Messiah came out of the lines of David, because he came out of the city of David. And in all the coast thereof, for 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. So the wise men made him understand, and he was practicing the law, so he knew that the Messiah was going to come out of Bethlehem. He was going to be a boy. They will fulfill that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, so Jeremiah prophesied this, and it came to pass. That was Herod the Great. And he didn't. The Romans didn't. The Romans didn't do it. It was Herod's men of war. Let me come back over here. And Herod with his, now this is one of the sons of Herod, and Herod with his men of war sent him at naught, and marked him, Yahushua, and arrayed him in a gorgeous robe. Another part in the scriptures in the Gospels, of the 4 Gospels, says purple. Here it says gorgeous. And sent him again to Pilate. So that's when when he was sent back to Pilate, he was already beat up. They mocked him, and it was the Romans that actually took jurisdiction and actually crucified him, which was a Roman law. So when you go back to, come back over here again. When you go back, let me do this. Okay, Herod slaughters babies. This is the tail of the dragon. In Revelation chapter 12, the part that came against our Lord to destroy him were not the Romans. It was actually, but Herod was connected to the beast. The tail that sought to take down the 3 stars, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That was actually the actions of Herod's men of war. So they represent the tail of the dragon. The rest of the dragon is the Roman Empire. So let's come back over here. So you can teach that it's the city-states now. This is talking about now, not 2,000 years ago, not the pagan Roman Empire. It says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like forks come out of the mouth of the dragon. We know it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. It's talking about London, the city-state of London. And out of the mouth of the beast is what? NATO and the EU. Mainly the NATO part. The NATO is the military part of the beast. The EU is the financial part of the beast, which you have EU nations that are also NATO nations. I'll give you an example. Turkey wants to join with the BRICS because Turkey wanted to be a part of the EU, but they said no because they would have to get aid. That goes into Obadiah verse 7. You know, the nations that you gave bread to, I'm merely paraphrasing, they'll come against you. So Turkey's coming against them because Turkey is a NATO nation but not an EU nation. Turkey wanted to be a part of the EU wouldn't let them in. But they're part of the NATO system. So, so Turkey would be a part of the beast, but now Turkey wants to join the BRICS nations. And by the way, I believe it was J.P. Morgan Bank that set up the BRICS nations. So who really controls the BRIC nations? Esau. It says the elite of Esau. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. You want to call it a city-state? That's the city-state of London. And out of the mouth of the beast, that's the city-state, which is D.C. And then you have the Pentagon, which is in, I believe that's Langley, Virginia. And out of the mouth of the false prophet represents what? The 3rd city-state, which is the Vatican. All these religions, Jehovah's Witness, Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, all of them, they're all daughter churches of the Roman Catholic Church. How do we know that? They all got the same picture of the so-called Jesus. All right? So when you break it down to give it clarity, it mentions 3. You have 3 city-states. So to break it down the right way, they were right. Them elders from Dallas, GMS, were correct. Revelation 12 verse 3, and there appeared another one in heaven, and behold a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. That's the Roman Empire. The tail of it represented the Herodian dynasty, which they were part of the Roman Empire. And it was the Romans that set them up and set up Herod to be the king of the Jews. And that's why Herod, the so-called great, he wanted the Messiah to be put to death. So he knew that the Messiah was going to come. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven. The 3rd part of the stars of heaven represents 3 parts. Not a 3rd, but 3 parts. It's Old English for 3 parts. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me go to the NLT. Let me do it this way. You got guys that go off here and there on the prophetic parts of the scriptures because they don't go. You got to go over it. Got to go over it over and over again. His tail swept away 1/3. It says 1/3. It represents Judah, Benjamin, Levi. 1/3 of the stars. The stars in the first verse referring to Israel. Even the commentary, the Bible Hub, as Bishop Nate calls it. Let's go to the Bible Hub. In the sky, and he threw them down to the earth. He stood in front of the woman. The woman represents Israel. As she was about to give birth, the birth was Yahushua, because he was birthed from the nation. He was a child of Israel, ready to devour her baby. You go back to Matthew. Was it Matthew or Luke? Herod, the slaughter of the babies. That's what this is talking about. The slaughter of the babies in Bethlehem. Devour her baby as soon as it was born. She gave birth to a son. Who gave birth to a son? Israel, the nation Israel. In particular, it was Mary, which she was an Israelite. The prophecy would not be fulfilled if, Joseph never had sex with Mary because it had to be a physical seed. It was pointed. The Most High appointed Mary. The Most High appointed Mary to give birth to that seed, and she was from the tribe of Judah. So Joseph was from the tribe of Judah, and Mary was from the tribe of Judah. Was to rule, or is to rule all nations with a rod of iron. Didn't it say we're going to have a rod of iron too? We're joint heirs. And her child was snatched away from the dragon and was caught up to the Most High, which is the Father, and to his throne. So did the dragon kill the child? Yes. But the child came back. That's why they said go and put guards there to make sure nobody comes in and takes the body and said he rose. So they go into that part of the scriptures. So it says here, the dragon did put the Lord to death, but the Lord rose back again and was taken up, Acts 1, taken up into heaven in the cloud, coming back in the cloud, which is the UFO. It's not coming back in a white horse or a mountain. So the dragon, which is the Roman Empire, couldn't like, he pulled a fast one on them, let's say. And the woman fled into the wilderness. Mary didn't flee into the wilderness. Israelites, those Israelites, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and some of the other tribes from the northern kingdom. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where the Most High had prepared a place to care for her for 1,260 days. The place is America. They went into the wilderness, into a place. Okay, so now let's come back over here. For to devour the child as soon as it was born. So which part of the dragon did that? Herod. Wasn't the Romans. It was Herod. Now the Roman Catholic institution says that the woman with the 12 stars, the crown of 12 stars, the moon and the sun under her feet and all this moon under her feet, they say it's talking about the Roman Catholic Church. It's not talking about the Roman Catholic Church. It's talking about the Israelites. All the Israelites. 7th verse. And there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels. Who's going to be in front of Michael? Yahushua. Michael's going to be second in command. Fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Now you got people in church. Matter of fact, you know what we do? Let me do this. Show you that these scholars don't, when it comes to the prophecies, they go off on a lot of them. Okay, how am I going to, let me do this. Let me do this here. I'll do it this way. Do it this way. Bear me for a minute. Please. Commentary. Oh, so you can know Bishop Nathaniel, he goes into a commentary like we go. But there's all kind of commentaries. BibleRef.com, Alliance Bible Fellowship. These are all commentaries. Commentary. Christian Library, also commentary. Oxford Academy, which is a commentary. Bible Study Tools. He could have went to Enduring World Commentary, which I went to that. But somehow I stick with the Bible Hub, and I mostly go to the Cambridge because it's normally the shortest. Now watch how they break it down. We call it hermeneutics. Okay. I want to see if I can find a Cambridge. Down here. So let's see what they say about this. The war in heaven. There was war in heaven. This must refer to an event subsequent to the incarnation, not therefore to the fall of the angels. Yeah, they went off on that as readers of Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, is an actual book. And I believe that's the book is written by what do you call them people? Latter-day Saints, if I'm not mistaken. I read you can Google it and go Satan Fall, Paradise Lost from that book. So when the churches teach you, oh, Satan had a war in heaven, that's in this book, not in the scriptures. Apt to assume Milton may have been justified in using the description as illustrating and suggesting what may be supposed to have happened then. So they're saying that war in heaven already happened. You know, it says, but we must not identify the two. Michael, the two latter passages seem to tell us that he is the special patron or guardian angel of the people, of the people of Israel. Daniel 12:1. And it may be in that chapter that he is introduced there. His angel, he is called the archangel. The angels are his, as well as the angels of the Lord. King, for apparently the right reading is to fight, the sense in there was war in heaven, so that Michael and his angels made war with the dragon, going forth to war. So they don't understand. This is something that's going to happen in the sky when Yahushua come back with the angels. Second in command will be Michael with an innumerable amount of angels, and they're going to come destroy Babylon the Great, and the majority of the elect are coming out of America. So now let me come back over here. And the dragon was cast out. See, the demons went, and that's the demons broke away from the Lord, and they were righteous at one time, and they become wicked. No, this is something that's getting ready to happen, and this dragon is not talking about a spiritual demon, Satan. It's clearly talking about, if your spiritual eyes are open, if you have that eye salve, it's clearly talking about Esau. It's clearly talking about NATO and the NATO nations, America, Canada, and the rest of Germany, Great Britain. Great Britain used to be an EU member and a NATO member. They're no longer EU members. They're now NATO. They're part of NATO. They're still part of NATO. But they're going to shoot missiles on Babylon. Something's going to happen, but they're going to wind up shooting missiles on Babylon. It says because the Most High put in their heart to do so. And them being cast out of heaven is talking about out there in space, inside of the firmament or the ozone and outside the ozone. And when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man-child, and the earth helped the woman, because they're planning on taking us out in the earth. And now you got to go to Revelation 20 verse 7. All this stuff that I'm reading about right here, Revelation 12, Revelation 20 and 7 is going to take place at the same time. They're not going to rule. Don't listen to the knuckleheads, Hakar and Hassad and Bishop Nate. Don't listen to them. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And they said after 1,000 years, God is going to regroup and they're going to come get us. When we got spiritual power, when we're going to have the powers, we're going to have more powers than Yahushua. Yeah, that's right, I said that. We're going to have more powers than Yahushua had when he was on the earth 2,000 some odd years ago. How do I know that? Because he said it. He said, the things that I do, ye shall do in greater. So what was he saying? All the power that you see, you're going to have more power than that. And he did so many things as far as spiritual, spiritual power, we call it. He did so many things that you couldn't even write it. If you wrote it in books, the world could not contain it. He did a lot of things that they don't even talk about. His mother knew he had this spiritual power. That's why do you think she said, take this water and turn it into wine? Because she said, I got a special child. You got this term that's called indigo children. You should look that up. They're like special children. This is what the X-Men was all about. They had a special school to hone your skills of the different spiritual power that you had. But somebody had the spirit of fire. Somebody had the spirit of, anything that's made out of metal, controlled it. That was
Magneto.
What was his name? The main guy.
Eric Magneto.
Xavier, and you had Magneto.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We're going to have all this power, the powers of all of them, and then some. So how the hell is it God is going to get us? So then Nate is wrong, and Hassad and Hakar is wrong. And then he's going to go to the camp. You know, I got a question. Cause look, nigga, we already answered it, man. And you got that from the head of Sakari. It says, and another thing you got wrong is Revelation chapter 8. Revelation chapter 8 is not talking about the Spanish-American War. Okay? And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. The flood represents the armies, the flood, but ultimately 70 AD, the Roman armies came against us. At the same time, you had the tail, which was Herod's men of war. Read the history on it. You had Herod's men of war fighting side by side with the Romans against the Israelites in 70 AD. And the Lord said in prophecy, when you see the abomination and make it desolate, come go into the holy place and flee into the mountains. And we fled all over the place. Fled all up in Europe because we had relatives up there. We fled into Africa. Yahweh fled into Africa. You had a big contingent, I guess you can call it, of Israelites that that was the biggest group that came out of Israel for the Passover and the 3 high holy days, Deuteronomy 16 and 16. The biggest group the people noticed was the Israelites in Alexandria, Egypt. So that's where Joseph and Mary fled to, Egypt, because they were among Israelites, and the Romans couldn't mess with them. Remember, the Romans tried to take the Carthaginian Empire from Hannibal Barca's father, and every time they went, they got defeated. Now, what happened to Hannibal? He got defeated because of the weather. He wasn't used to the weather. His top men died on the way over there. But and the reason why that happened was the Roman Empire had to keep going. Mosai intervened. But that was Carthaginian. Hannibal Barca. He was a fierce warrior. He was like another Maccabees, Judas Maccabees. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of a seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh. That was back then, because didn't they kill the disciples except for John? They beheaded Paul. They hung Peter upside down. I believe Philip, they bashed him in the back of the head. I mean, that's in your history books. Okay, so now, Revelation 13 and 2. And the beast. So anytime you come across the word dragon anywhere in the scriptures, has nothing to do with the spirit of demon Satan. It's talking about Esau, or like Pharaoh. Pharaoh was called a dragon. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear. Leopard represents Greeks. Bear represents Russia. Russia's gonna bring this place down. Russia are Edomites, just like the rest of the beast members, but they never got together. Roman Empire, you got clowns saying, let's name the 7 heads. Rome, France, Spain, Germany. And then they'll say Russia. Russia wasn't even around at that time. Russia came on the scene, if you want to put an exact date on it, 865 AD. That was long after Esau fell. You feel me? Let me see. Okay, it says bear in the mouth, as the mouth of a lion, the mouth of the lion, which is London, England. All right. And the dragon gave him his power. It's not talking about Satan. It's talking about the power that the Most High gave them to be on top. This dragon out there talking about Satan. No, he ain't talking about Satan. Even though Satan's working with him, that's not talking about Satan. Gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And they worship the dragon. They wasn't worshiping Satan. It says, and they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast. So that dragon's pagan Roman Empire, ancient Roman Empire. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, which is interchangeable. Rome is also known as a beast, also known as a dragon. We read that in Revelation 12. Who is able to make war with him. So this is the rebirth of the dragon. Deadly wound was healed. When did the deadly wound get healed? During the time when they came up after the 1,000 years. Revelation 20. And I beheld another beast come out of the earth, and had 2 horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. What is that talking about? Babylon the Great. Came up, we're free, and we're going to do the right thing by the people. and they did the exact opposite. Revelation 16:13, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. To hit the point, that's talking about the city-state of London. That's the financial part. If you got if you're dealing with the finances, which Rothschild said that? Somebody help me out. It says, give me a nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws. What does that mean? Meaning, you tell them the laws that they got to make. You say, well, look, I want you to make a law for this which benefits you, and if you say no, what you do is you weaken the money supply. So now they're coming at you, on bended knee, begging for extra money, and then you say, okay, you're gonna get extra money, but you got to pass this law. So these laws are passed for the benefit of them. So the city-state of London, they tell the Vatican what they can do and can't do. The beast, what they do and can't do. The city-state of London, the financial part of the beast, they can completely destroy America, man, on the financial level, and that's happening now. This whole thing about inflation, I'm not going to tell you what it means. You should know. It says, and out of the mouth of the beast, that's the Pentagon, or that's DC. That's DC. The whole of DC is centered around war. They're the ones that always go into war. Anytime there's a war, this beast is behind it. And out of the mouth of the what? Of the false prophet represents the Catholic Church, all the other churches that stem from the Catholic Church. I don't care if you're a Calvinist, a Protestant, Baptist, Methodist, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist. You all came out of the Roman Catholic Church. You're all a bunch of Reformed Roman Catholics. Last precept, Revelation 20:2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent. Again, this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan, which is the devil. He's also known as, it's talking about the physical counterpart, not the spiritual demon Satan, and Satan, which means enemy, adversary, and bound him 1,000 years. That already took place. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.
In Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to your Akims out there in the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Brakah the Yahweh, Brakah the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash, Brakah. So, of course, things to take away is what's going on with Levi right now. As you know, that Levi is, in fact, what Esau reviews as Levites, or it doesn't call them Levites, it calls them Haitians, right? Dog-eating immigrants clashes over Ukraine, an economic blame game. Key takeaways from the Harris-Trump debate. That shit show of a debate. Well, Trump brought it up. That you have these illegals coming in and eating up the dogs. Democratic and Republican candidates pointed the finger at each other for U.S. domestic woes, as this video goes into. Here's the key takeaways, right? It's a shit show, but it's a good one. It's very entertaining.
What she says is an absolute lie.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans, and let's compare the plans. I have a plan.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
You're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow, and that is another one. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Vice President.
Excuse me, I have to respond. Another lie. It's another lie.
That's absolutely not true. I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows that. He's trying to, again, divide and distract.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about.
Clearly, I'm not Joe Biden, and I'm certainly not Donald Trump.
Well, I suppose anybody hoping for this landmine moment, or something like the Biden debate. With
so it's
Trump
a joke,
completely change the direction of this whole presidential campaign. Of course, that's why Kamala Harris is sitting here. Essentially, would be disappointed. It's kind of more of the same. Kind of showmanship, finger pointing. You said, I said. Very light on.
You say this, well, I say that.
Very light on actual detail about policy.
So did you think that Kamala was well prepped?
for the debate. It looked like
You say this, well, I say that.
I think the preparation here was all about really what not to say and what not to do.
Exactly.
And I think that's what one of the problems with the political debate has now become. It's you're told what not to say, what to avoid, and how not to answer a question. I think that's almost critically important.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure you don't answer the questions.
Things like abortion and crime. Both of the candidates were sort of taking carte blanche on deciding what was what when it came to those kind of details. And I think what this lacks, it lacks detail and it lacks actual political debate. This is more about I can shout louder than you, I'm better than you, X, Y, and Z. You know, so it kind of lacks substance.
Yeah. I'd agree with you on that. But I know one of the things they did touch down on briefly was the debacle from a couple of years ago, the US withdrawal from Afghanistan. How did that go among the presidential contenders?
Yeah, well, that's interesting because I suppose we have to look at the context of how.
So yeah, this is the next day after the shit show of debate.
Sort of were in charge of reporting to this calamitous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I mean, it was an absolute disaster. And then
I did say before,
into this
double honest, the elders and apostles, a great millstone who teaches us
what we should be looking at is why is this debate not occurring anyway? It seems that it's only occurring as part of the presidential debates because it may draw Kamala into some controversy. It's not being discussed.
And shout out to Yakins out there in the four corners of the earth.
I do want to ask the Vice President, do you believe you bear any responsibility in the way that withdrawal played out?
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century.
Let's have a little chat about that.
Now that's hilarious. Illegally in Syria and Iraq, in Ukraine, in the Israeli state, in Yemen. Yes, you have troops in Yemen too.
Personally, who might disagree with that. There's a significant presence in Syria. There's U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan, and we know, of course,
Afghanistan
that there is also a lot of U.S. soldiers and senior advisors in Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
See, he knows. Systems which are apparently going to be striking Russia, and probably the ones that have recently struck it also.
Yeah, but no. Of course, there are no American boots. There are no NATO boots in Ukraine. I mean, for God's sake, are people really buying this crap anymore? I mean, obviously,
that's a great way to put it.
They touched down on a couple of things here and there. What about Ukraine? I know that also got a brief mention.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, there's no substantive debate about Ukraine. Mostly bragging. Now, Trump, of course, did mention that Kamala was dispatched to Ukraine, as she said, as some sort of envoy, bringing intelligence that she was some sort of a super spy. And Trump kind of said, well, you were sent to Ukraine to basically broker peace.
Well, you can see, though, that everybody's laughing at America because it is a joke.
And I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him American intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania. And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country.
Putin would be sitting in Moscow, and he wouldn't have lost 300,000 men and women, but he would have been sitting in Moscow, quiet please, he would have been sitting in Moscow much happier than he is right now. But eventually, he's got a thing that other people don't have. He's got nuclear weapons. They don't ever talk about that.
There it is.
Interestingly, something that Kamala mentions there, and very scripted. She's obviously been told, these are the numbers that are Javelin missiles. Now,
but the nuclear missiles, well, that's going to be the death of Babylon. Those are the weapons of his indignation.
Something I'm interested in.
And they will be used.
At least 20 of the 31 that have been fielded in Ukraine have been completely vaporized by the Russians. Again, another game changer. And in the context of it all, the game changer. But this certainly wasn't a game changer debate for either candidate. No landmine, no earth-shattering moment. A little bit of more of the same.
But you mentioned something to me off air a short time ago, and you said that the lefty liberal mainstream media is not pouncing on anything that Trump said. And if he had made one cock-up, they would have pounced all over it, and they've got nothing. So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, it means that neither of the candidates stood on that landmine. Neither of them did the bidding of the other side. They weren't drawn in. But maybe this is the first round of a couple of debates, we hope, because this one was very much light on fact, light on energy, and it was strong on accusation and showmanship.
Yeah. It was fucking hilarious is what it is. And everybody's laughing at this dog and pony show they call elections. Biden leading U.S. to nuclear immolation. This comes from RFK Jr., who's pretty much on the side of Donald J. Trump. And Donald J. Trump did actually bring it up that, yes, Putin has nuclear weapons, and they will be used against Babylon. had to put the music back in there because I had to withdraw it because, of course, you wouldn't be able to hear Apostle Tahar's voice on this, because, mics can only go up so much. I have to sometimes play with it a little bit so where it's all evened out. I'm pretty good about that, but didn't want it to drown out Apostle Tahar's voice because it was a very important lesson here. Donald Trump is right to warn about Russia's arsenal of atomic weapons, former independent presidential candidate said. The aggressive policy of the administration under Biden toward Russia and its continued attempt to inflict a defeat on Moscow in Ukraine could result in nuclear conflict, former independent presidential candidate RFK Jr. has said. So like everything else, we know that RFK Jr. is campaigning for Donald J. Trump. We saw it in some of the previous videos. Future dollar slide after presidential debate as CPI looms. U.S. futures, the dollar and treasury yields are all lower post-debate and pre-CPI put off session lows as of 8 a.m. S&P futures are down 0.1% because the whole world sees this fucking shit show of an election and they know it's a joke. Weaponizing weed to warp the minds of the masses, use at your own risk. Well, like everything else, though, we know that, marijuana has pretty much been legalized, but what are they putting in it? Is it similar to the juicy juice? Yeah, this juicy juice, these juicers that they're giving people that's been legalized is really destroying them, right? Back when marijuana was safer, it was illegal. Now it's been more dangerous by legalizing it, well, of course, because like everything else, though, they really want to dumb down the masses. And at least the older marijuana made you think. The newer marijuana, actually, because I remember a phrase from the song Everybody's Smoking Marijuana, that pot makes people smarter than their parents ever were. But now it's just dumbed you down like lithium. It's basically a calming agent, makes you more docile. We're ready to accept the actions. Hey man, the hippies back then detested everything the government does. Now they just sort of go along with it. Because it's not really the marijuana that you thought it was, right? Genetically modified marijuana, that's what it is.
I know a lot of people, some of them very close to me, that became artificial schizophrenics. They weren't schizophrenic because of genetics or whatever. They were schizophrenic the same way people that worked in clothing manufacturing 200 years ago were. They're called mad as a hatter because they would dry out and stain and do processes on things, on like, say a beaver hat with mercury. And they'd be called mad as a hatter because the people that worked there for a long time became aggressive and crazy. That makes you aggressive and crazy and then kills you. Marijuana now today is causing massive, basically schizophrenia. And now it's admitted. But now when I said it 7 years ago on Joe, people didn't know about it. Oh, he's crazy. But now you type in marijuana linked to mental illness, marijuana linked to schizophrenia, marijuana linked to, and I have had people that I know well, and one person that worked here, no, actually two, over the last, these two cases both happened in the last 16 years. One of them was about 14 years ago, and then one of them was about 4 years ago. And both these people smoked dope all the time. They were video editors. They didn't do it at the office, and I was just like, that's how it is with video editors. They come in stoned in the morning, go out to lunch, get stoned, been to work late, they were just stoned out of their gourd. And one of them started thinking we had microphones hidden in his office. And then he decided that David Knight was really a reptile. I swear to God.
But like everything else, though, causing schizophrenia, paranoid delusions, strong delusions. Yeah, that's what the legalized version is. So it's not like the pot that was back during the, as you would say, the hippie generation. Those people were smart thinkers and they detested the Vietnam War, etc., right? But that's not what kind of marijuana there is now. Now that it's been legalized, yeah, they're putting other things in it. And these people are insane. And I know a couple people right now in my life, and they really fucking go off on delusions because they're still smoking that marijuana. I mean, they're not Israelites, not a part of the elect anyways, but I mean, they just, they fucking lost their fucking minds, man, and they just, it's not like the marijuana that was out back then, because, back in the 90s when I did used to use it, it actually made you did think a little bit. I'm not saying that it was the greatest thing that I did it, but yet at the same time, it wasn't as harmful as what's out there now. And with vaping and everything else and other ways of smoking and getting it, yeah, no wonder why. But this also is something else they're planning, is mass gun confiscation, which will also cause a civil war. Like Apostle Tahar said, if Harris wins, you can best believe in civil war. Well, you know that the Democrats have always went after the guns.
What would you do about the millions of, specifically, assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Mandatory.
Red flag, extreme risk protection orders, and I think Superintendent Evans can speak to the specifics of that. I think in my latest briefing, we've issued 71 of those.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
Which basically means only the fucking thought police will have it, right? Israeli state to receive stinging appropriate response for deadly strike on Syria. This is the top IRGC commander, because they always claim they're going after Iranian assets. Well, Syria is an ally of Iran anyways, and right now, in the shape that the Israeli state is in, Iran is united with Syria on a lot of things. Now, of course, for the most part, they don't go after Iranian assets like they claim to, but they rather just go after the Syrian, the Syrian Arab army units of Bashar al-Assad, because they want to take Bashar al-Assad out of power, and particularly when Iran has come to the defense of Bashar al-Assad just the same way as Vladimir Putin has. High-ranking commander of the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps has warned the Israeli state that it will receive a slap in the face for the deadly airstrikes against multiple military installations and buildings in Syria's central province of Hama. Zionist crimes will not go unpunished. Zionist criminals will definitely receive a sharp slap in the face in due time and in the right place, Deputy Commander and Inspection Department of Central Headquarters Brigadier General said on Wednesday. Syrian Health Minister said on Monday that 18 people were killed as a result of the overnight Israeli airstrikes on a number of sites in the vicinity of Masaf. I knew it would be more than 14. It was a growing number, so it went up to 18. Located approximately 40 kilometers west of the provincial capital, city capital of Hama. He added that 37 people were also wounded in the strikes, so it was, and of course, like everything else, though, they're all in unity, and then this has also been going on for the past few days. U.S. and U.K. conduct airstrikes against targets in Yemen for the third consecutive day. American and British terrorists have conducted fresh round of joint airstrikes against targets in Yemen after 2 schoolgirls were killed and several others injured following joint British aerial attack on education center in the same Yemeni province. So, like everything else, though, the attack just came just a day after 2 girls lost their lives and several others sustained injuries when U.S. and U.K. military aircraft carried out strike against a school in the Jundal area, Al Tanwa district in the same province. So, pretty much, though, they're going after human targets. They're not going after military targets. They never do. They always claim that they're going after, so-called installations, right? Israeli enemy renews its attacks on towns and regions in southern Lebanon. The Israeli enemy renewed its attacks on villages and towns in southern Lebanon as its aircraft raided on Wednesday the orchards in the valleys of Kolila, Zebkon, Hania, Majazzoun, and Tyre Harfa towns, and I'm probably butchering the names, causing extensive damage to property and crops. The enemy aircraft also launched raids on Nokora and the outskirts of Alma al-Shab and the area between the towns of Deir Zion and eastern Zata, causing extensive forest fires. So, it's an ongoing onslaught, but we are seeing that all prophecy will come to pass. Again, we're seeing it playing upon tables, as it says here in Habakkuk chapter 2. And there's a longer version of this, just an article and another video I can't really play on this part of YouTube, because, of course, the controversy behind it, right? And the Most High answered me and said, Write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And what's that talking about? That's talking about the end of Esau Edom. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, meaning heavy debt, you know. In other words, you know, payback, pretty much. They want payback for everything. So, this will come to pass very shortly, and it is imminent. So hopefully this has been edifying. You know, if you want the longer length, you know where to find me. Odysee, BitChute, and Rumble. Then I'll say, Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, Wa Abab Babal. Brakathum to Yehovah Elect. Shalom.